Okay. Let's see. I look pretty good on the color here on the paints that I'm using. So, oh, hi, Bill St. George. Welcome to another impression show. With Luke Dent, myself. And we're just going to keep blocking this thing in until I get it right, and then we'll take it from there. What I'm doing now is I'm going to throw in some base shadows here. I'm going to play all the light off against the shadow. So keep your shadow areas or your dark areas thin. Use a little bit more thinner than what you normally use. And remember, it's always fat over lean, color-wise, or consistency-wise, it's fat over lean. And again, using the shadow areas. My paint is pretty thin. Oh, using. Yeah, I kept saying using. Anyway, I think I was stuck. I was going to say I'm using liquid. Here I used a little bit of the cadmium red with some alizarin crimson to make the shadow areas really interesting. Now see, as far as the brushwork goes, you really, when you're starting your painting, that's the time to get really energetic with your paint, rather than, you know, treat everything preciously right from the get-go. Well, the more you paint, obviously, the faster you're going to get. But if you can keep in mind that you're going to lose things and then gain them back again by just going back in with the paint, then it frees you up. You don't get too precious with the stuff. All right, we're going to have this thing all knocked in and ready to. I think this blue here, that's kind of nice. I'm using a little cerulean blue. Let's see, that's this. Now, good indicator is this is too. Yeah, you gotta bring this down a little bit. Using the top of the windows for a guide, you know. These actually are all on the same plane, so. Who was that guy that used to say deplane? What was that? What program was that? Remember that, Luke? Yeah. Deplane. The little guy he was kind of a gun freak in real life. His gun was bigger than him when he put it on his holster. Huge. Oh boy, I'm definitely gonna go to that warm place hereafter. All right, there we go. Now, yeah. Okay, let me just kind of dig this for a second. I'll bring this here, right there. I got to put some landmarks in. That's one of the problems I'm having right now. So get those in real quick. Wow, that's a big painting too. Goodness. Yeah. Now I know this chimney here isn't purple, but the thing I like to point out is the light area on this side is actually as light as the this orange. So the color of the value of, now follow me closely, the value of the background tone should be the lightest. So you keep it that way, and then you can change the color, but it should be that value. All right, does that make sense? No. Okay. Keep it the same value. All right. Now I'm going to go to a little lighter. I'll stay away from my whites as much as possible, but right now I'm going to change. See, that's about the same value as the purple. And if you hold it up to it, you know, if you paint it, see? And that will be the same thing happening over here with this. See? That may even be a little darker than what I want. So we'll add just a little bit more white. And then I'll put that thing here. Yeah, that's probably closer to it right there. And again, you notice I'm not fussing with this thing either, so I'm going to paint this whole thing in here in that one tone, and then I'm going to go back in with the shadow rather than, let's see, now this here is that, and this is that here. This will come below this. Yeah, this is going to be up here somewhere. I could take a lot of time at the outset and draw this thing accurately or whatever, but I'd rather get the energy and the freedom into the painting rather than, there we go, look at that. Just sometimes just a brush stroke looks so nice, you know, just the best. And this will, believe me, all come together. I'm just gonna go into a blue here, a blue shadow. Right here, where this is casting a shadow right about there. Okay, and then there's this. That's gonna be the light area. And then this, okay, there we go. Well, at least one thing, you get the thought process going. You know, I'll tap into my thought process, which can be a little weird at times, but hopefully you learn something. All right, now this is going here, here. Now I want to keep that dark enough so that these are going to pop on their own without, you know, those trees are going to just leap, you know, that's, and then when I enhance it with a white over it, then you really get something going here. All right, this is this here. Okay, this. Yeah, okay, I need some shadow here. And here, you know, just start making some of my corrections to the architecture, to the drawing, but do it with the paint. No bother trying to draw it. Now this here is actually on line with that, so you have to keep that in mind. And this goes at that angle. There, okay. Now, I'm going to throw some other color in here just to get out of this monotonous dark blue purple. So I'm going to throw in, dark reds and purples. So I'm going to try something just to liven it up a bit, and it might take me in a different direction. That I don't know, but I'm going to definitely I'll throw some green in here. You know, just to get the thing going. And I don't care whether it's dead on or not, you know, I just want to get something so I can play that green against that red, and then that becomes, you know, it becomes a harmonious thing, or it's way off, but it's going to show you that right away. So I think that's more the green that I'm looking for. And we'll do the same thing down here. Now you notice I'm not doing any individual leaves or anything. Again, you just get the general shape. Look at this area in here as an overall shape rather than individual leaves. And you're thinking trees, you know, and leaves. So just go for the big shapes. All right, now I'm gonna. Purple sky actually isn't too bad. I think I might just leave it the way it is and bring some of a little more of the green up. If you notice, I lose things. You know, lose the shapes. Bring one color into another. Get that energy going, which I find is very important. Something you see in Van Gogh. It's one of my all-time favorites. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at this thing, and right, that's this here. All right, let me get a little drawing here just for a second. Bear with me. There we go. And your colors don't all have to be pure either. They don't have to be, you know, all clean and nice. You know, throw in a few muddy colors here and there, kind of give it a little different energy. Okay, get some orange, throw some red, a little bit of yellow. And see that, throwing that slight variation in there, the orange, gives that a little life and gets it away from being flat, you know? You know what I mean? Okay, that's up there. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now, see if I can start pulling this together real fast. Yeah. But this is all you should be concerning yourselves with anyway, as far as painting, you know, just this amount of finish. Don't get into detail, you know. All your energy and all this kind of loose, real loose stuff. Okay, this is the orange that I have up in the sky here. Now there's a bright spot here, okay? So you look for those bright spots and then just try to nail it. There you go. We'll go a little brighter there. And right here. Get that going a little bit. And bring that up here. Let's start pulling some of the detail out. And here. Get a little bit of the Naples yellow in here. Warm up that light. What you don't try not to paint is using pure white. That's why I tone the canvas too, because it keeps me from trying to go too white or too dark. So you get that tone in the background, and that becomes your lightest part of the canvas. Okay, that's kind of interesting, but boring. Let's see. Yeah, all right. Just want to get some color changes here as well as value change. Take this here. Hassan something, I don't know. He used to paint. He's kind of a madman. He painted these bizarre landscapes. They were very colorful. But he used to paint in the nude. He never had any clothes on when he painted. He's crazy. Lived like a hermit. It was nuts. Yeah. I think he designed this whole city, you know, based on his paintings. And wow, Real interesting. I'm not putting him down. He's a kind of a different dude. All right. Might throw a little bit of this indigo in there. Wow. Okay, now bring this up here. Get some red. When you don't think about this, you know, you just kind of do it, and then you're really surprised at what comes out. You know, it really it can be very exciting. Not knowing really what the end result's going to be. Yeah, I'm going to bring that right up there. Throw a little blue. Yeah, a little ultramarine blue, some alizarin crimson, and a little bit of indigo. Now look at that, not dark, that's so sweet. Okay, I'll use that there. So I want subtle changes, subtle variations in the shadows. I don't want, you know, I don't want big jumps. I just want you to be able to know that that's there and forget about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's too bad about Tony Soprano, man. Oh. Wow, what a tragedy that was. My God, they've been doing specials on him. He's really a perfectionist. Very kind of a shy guy too, and you know, in real life, he was an interesting guy. Okay, that's too blue. Anyway. They had a special on last night about, remember Tupac Shakur?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like listening to NPR, man. They got some great stuff. But anyway, I didn't realize it, but I think I knew his father was a Black Panther, right?
Oh,
yeah. But he also studied dance.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a smart guy. I mean, he wasn't just, you know, run-of-the-mill, not run-of-the-mill, but somebody that came up from his bootstraps. He had a good background, good school background, and smart dude. You ever figure out who killed him?
Still a mystery.
Still a mystery, huh?
Yeah.
That was that whole Biggie Big thing, too.
Yeah.
You know, all around that same time. Huh. Yep. Yeah. I'm going to get rid of this here. This is too cool, man. Too cool. I think I'll do a series of these. It's really funny because people ask me, well, what do you sell the most of? And, you know, your paintings. And I say, I don't know, maybe cityscapes. Boston cityscapes. And they say, well, how come you're not painting them now? I says, maybe because I'm stupid. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get rich. But you know what it is, really. It's that I get kind of tired of it after a while. I switched to horses, and that was a big thing for a while. And now I'm doing faces and just kind of move it around, But come to the point where I think I should, like do paintings to make money instead of just because I like to paint them. Should have a, like, I don't know, you hear so many different stories. Mostly, oh, that isn't, you're not a pure artist if you're doing it for the money. No, but are you kidding me? What do you think? I suppose, guys like Jay-Z and all those guys, they do it for the fun of it because they love it. Well, that's part of it, but I don't think that's all of it. Yeah, see? No. All right. I'm going to bang something in real quick just to, again, change the tenor of this a bit. How are we doing for time, Luke? We got loads of time?
We got 3 minutes.
3 minutes, whoa. Yeah, we're okay. That's good. We can bang out another one and then we'll grab something to eat, all right? Now think that should do it. I don't know. We shall see. Okay. Now, if you can tell, I mean, if you tell your story in as few brush strokes as possible, you know, I think then you got a successful painting. But that's sometimes difficult because we have a tendency to overkill, you know. There we go. And again, there's another building here, but what I might do is just, well, maybe I will wash it in there with red, pinkish red or something, just to show that there is another building there. I'll do that. Let's see. Make that real dark there. Yeah, now this is a classic example right here of screwing up. It lines up with that. Now this one should be lined up with this one, like right about here. And then I'll get some blue. I'll wash that in there. And a little bit of gray. Bang that in. Okay. And then a little bit of whatever. I think we're probably winding down to the precious few here. Is that it? Yeah. Uno moment. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. All right. Hope you got something out of this. This has been fun for me. I haven't done a magnolia painting in a while. Because I don't have any left. I sold all of them, which goes back to that, why don't you turn? Anyway. Well, it's kind of, you know, I always thought that, you know, if you're a writer, you don't want to write the same story all the time, or if you're a musician, after a while, you know, you can play the same song. You know, you got to move on, try something else. But anyways, Bill St. George, thank you for joining me again for another impression show. And we'll be back at you. In the meantime, keep painting.